very pleasure to be here to share something about the DAO topic. And yeah, maybe I would like to take this opportunity to introduce a little bit about IstanDAO. Maybe you have seen the logo of IstanDAO on the main stage. So what IstanDAO is, it is part of the effort for public good talking about DAO-related topics. This year, we are very pleasured to invite 20 DAO co-builders as well as 50 DAO representatives here with us during the 2 days to have some quite fun introduction of what we can do with the kind of organization, of decentralized organization, and how that will evolve in the future to facilitate the Web3 industry. And yeah, now we will start our panel. And we have some practitioners here on the stage to share their experience of DAOs. Actually, yesterday it will be more closed DAO invitation panel on the ecosystem building. And today we would like to share some basic topics of what is DAO. And maybe we will give each of you 2 minutes to introduce yourself, what DAO you are building, and why you choose a DAO to facilitate certain goals, and how it goes now. Yeah.
Hello, GM, everyone. This is Ray from Bankless DAO. I have been in Bankless DAO for about 1 year now, and we started Bankless DAO Turkish to be able to translate Bankless content and also create our own content to educate people around DAOs and all around the crypto ecosystem. I have chosen Bankless DAO because it was easy to enter to Bankless DAO. The main problem that we hear about DAOs is that it's a little bit hard to understand how to contribute. But actually in Bankless DAO, I believe it's the opposite, because we have a lot of on-ramps for everyone to join us. We have a lot of guilds that as we call them, for every profession, from every profession, people can join to these guilds. And we have onboarding for all of them individually, so that people can get into DAO ecosystem and learn how to DAO, basically, by being a part of this huge ecosystem, this huge community, which is amazing to be in. I encourage everyone to actually come and join us. Thank you very much.
Yeah, hey guys, my name is Gil. My name is too complicated, it's Guilherme, but you can call me Gil. I represent here Grand Chairs DAO, and our DAO is a grants DAO. We like to empower and to bring more projects to the Web3. So everyone here has a dream, or had a dream once, and we didn't know how to start, right? So that's our goal, is to give the hand for builders, like yourselves here, that have an opportunity that get absorbed by Web3, like I was back in the days. So yeah, that's basically my goal, is to empower people through grants and through mentoring and through getting people to build their dreams on Web3.
So, hi, my name is Ben. I'm from FTW DAO. I'm really happy to be here today and talk a little bit about FTW and our experiences. About myself a little bit, I'm a traditional banker, you could say, 12 years in banking at UBS and Deutsche Bank. Immigrated into Web3 1.5 years ago, so I always call myself a Web3 immigrant. I'm a DAO fanatic. I think that DAOs can change the world, and I truly believe that they can do that because they are a different approach or solution mechanism for the problems what we have right now in the world. And for me personally, it was always surprising when you go to work, you basically not living in a democratic society, so of course you have some say in some decisions what you can do, but ultimately when when it comes to the political scene, we always talk about democracy. So I thought like there must be something different how we can organize like corporates. And of course, not every business problem can be solved like a DAO in a community, but I think there are definitely business cases. And that's what we try to do at FTW DAO. So basically, we are a community of people who are interested into venture capital. We want to build a platform for analysts who want to scout opportunities and angel investors who want to get access to global deal flow. And we bring them together in a DAO, in a community with a token, where basically the entire direction of the DAO and the platform is directed by all the members. We think that that's the right solution mechanism, because if you look at the market developments right now, you can see that venture capital is not really working right now, and we have to find a different solution. So that's why we think this bottom-up approach, community-based and community-directed venture capital can be the future for funding. And for me personally, one ambition, what I have is I want to make venture capital more accessible. And by using a DAO, a community where everybody can join, where they can learn to earn and contribute and start scouting deals, we can make venture capital more accessible. So check out FTW DAO if that's of interest for you.
Hi, my name is Misha. I'm actually not coming from a DAO. I build for DAOs. So what I am is I'm a founder of a startup called Mercantile, and what we do is we help DAOs figure out what's going on. So basically, if you think about what a DAO is, it's a community of people, 500, 1,000, 15,000 people who have shared goals, who are trying to achieve something together. But as soon as you have this amount of people, and as soon as they are in a decentralized manner doing some work, it's really hard to understand who are all of they, like who's trustworthy and who's not, what are the initiatives that are going on, and how do we reward all the members for all the different types of contributions that are enabled by Web3 that weren't possible in the Web2 world. So we help with all that. And I think the reason that we help with all that is, so because we need to learn about like what are the problems of the DAOs and what we can help them with. I think I'm a member of something like 50 communities on Discord. I think I hold something like 10 to 15 tokens of those communities. And I think I actively contribute to maybe 3 as a member as well. And the thing that we're seeing is that it's just such a beautiful thing. DAOs enable the ways of contributing and the ways of collaborating that just weren't possible before, before internet and before Web3. And we just thought like, yeah, we have to help facilitate that. So, yeah.
Yeah, thanks for the answers. And we have those representatives actually coming from different backgrounds. So maybe I will like ask each of you a specific question. So, hi Ray. I think that Bankless should be told as one of the most influential DAO in the space, right? It grows so fast with so many like regional DAO, sub-DAOs as well. So how would you please just introduce how Bankless DAO like organizational structure and how it can grow so fast, and how can you like keep growing so fast?
Bankless DAO started as a media DAO, which in the beginning it was called a media DAO, but today with the people building inside it, it became like a university of DAOs. So you can learn how to DAO in Bankless regardless of fearing that being excluded from anything. So this inclusiveness helps us to scale as such. This inclusiveness started the project, the International Media Nodes, which I'm a part of as Bankless Turkish. We have 15 nodes that translates the Bankless DAO and Bankless HQ content, and they also generate other content by themselves. So this culture of inclusiveness also reflects to us as the local representatives of Bankless DAO. So we always welcome everyone who wants to do anything that in their skill set to do in the Bankless DAO. You can start from Bankless German, and they will help you understand what they do inside Bankless German, and then you can just use them as a stepping stone to Bankless DAO, and you can use Bankless DAO as a stepping stone to the network that Bankless DAO has. And that's, I think, that's the network, this network and this inclusive culture of Bankless DAO helped us scale this in this enormous size. And being able to be being open to projects, to contributors to create projects, to encourage them like that, is another side of us. We grant projects inside Bankless DAO, it's not so common that random people coming into the Bankless forum and creating their projects. The best practice to build your project by Bankless DAO is to come in, start contributing to the DAO, and find your squad for your project. Open your project up in the relevant guild, and then start your squad from the talent pool of Bankless DAO, and then go to the forum with your friends who are already in Bankless DAO, so you will be able to explain to the questions that come up to your project. So I think the culture, inclusiveness, and also the vision to be able to spread around the world with the media nodes is the way we grow.
Yeah, I think you mentioned something called like vision. So, for example, Bankless DAO is kind of an educational hub as well as a Web3 incubator, huge incubator, right? And what's the outer goal you are doing? Go
The
Bankless?
ultimate goal
Yeah?
is to onboard 1 billion people to the ecosystem.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, so
You need to keep your expectations high with Bankless DAO.
it's true. If you have a higher vision, I think it will be more attractive to call on people to work together with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Gil, you're working on the grants DAO, a community grants DAO, currently in the new ecosystem, right?
Yeah.
So how do you think those kind of grants DAO or the ecosystem DAO will facilitate a certain ecosystem growth? And do you think that one day it will just replace the foundation's function?
Well, this is a difficult question, but yeah, we have to tackle somehow, right? So the thing is, a grants DAO, the way that we built a grants DAO, we had to remove many layers of complexity when submitting proposals, right? So we built in a way that the community is open for anyone to submit proposals for asking for a grant to build something in the new ecosystem or other ecosystems. But coming back to your point, Grace, how we build the ecosystem around a grants DAO and how we deal with them, we are not open only for technical people. We're open also for meetups, workshops, people like trying to give education, for example, in Africa or in South America. We had proposals actually asking us for a grant for doing this work in these continents. So like this shows that our entry bar is really low in terms of embracing who would like to build something and to get a grant for achieving the dreams. Yeah, coming and now going to your question, yeah, grant chairs or a grants DAO will one day kind of replace foundations or the role of foundations. I don't think so. I think it's complementary. I think it's like, because the way that, for example, grant chairs DAO works is that we offload decision-making from foundations. So it means that a foundation sometimes they have like more things to be concerned than just giving a grant, like giving $50,000, $50,000, for some projects, or like $10,000 or $5,000. So like, why not empower like a DAO or build a community that is specialized for distributing and doing decision making on who should get like grants, who can accomplish what, and this kind of thing. So no, definitely it will not replace Grace.
Okay, so you are actually being a new power or group of people that can make up some missing pieces of the ecosystem.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, like we support like grassroots projects in the grassroots level. I mean, the venture capital guys here, like, I mean, we'll say the seed, you know, the seed round. I think like we even before the seed round, we give grants for people to try to do something in the community. And if this project like succeeds, then of course you can go to other DAOs like to get, you know, venture capital money, right?
So Ben, you're like a crypto immigrant, right? From the bank background, and now you are like the founder of a DAO. And I know that you are holding kind of similar DAO forum next January during Davos. So can you share some story behind it? And how do you think of build a DAO of DAO?
Sure, sure. But first, Gil, we are not only like giving funding, we also try to coach startups and doing better pitches and all of that. And also we focus on pre-seed funding because our target group of investors are angel investors. However, DAO was, so basically it's coming from the experience what Ayla, my co-founder, and I had. So we started with the idea of FTW DAO, and then we looked for speaking opportunities at conferences, similar to Istanbul Blockchain Week, and it's really cool to have these exchanges. But what we realized is when you go into the DAO space, most of the conferences are focusing on tooling, for example, platforms, like the technical aspect. And I think that's really important. However, what we felt what is missing is a more strategic dialogue around DAOs. Because if you think about DAOs, they are a new solution mechanism to problems what we have in the world. So right now, in the free business world, basically we have corporates, hierarchies, startups. They are focusing on business problems. And I think they solve them really efficiently. However, there are problems like climate change, for example, where we see these top-down organizations, they don't really work. They maybe disregard these challenges or problems, or maybe they focus on different aspects. So, and when you look at these larger problems like climate change, or also, for example, the refugee crisis, you could think maybe that DAOs, a community which is owning what the community is doing, can be maybe a solution mechanism for that. But when you go to these conferences, sometimes there's a panel on that topic, sometimes there's maybe like a presentation on the topic, but the conferences, they are all focused on tooling. So that's why we thought maybe we should organize a conference which is focusing on that, focusing on how DAOs and why DAOs can be solution mechanisms for problems. And that's why we set up DAO Davos. So Davos, we plan to hold it during the World Economic Forum in Davos. Davos is a small town in Switzerland. Some of you probably know that, but the idea is we hold this conference there. It's a community-owned conference, so everybody can chip in there. We sell membership NFTs for that, so everybody can buy this membership NFTs. There are different tiers, and then this community is deciding who is speaking at the conference, what topic are discussed at these conferences. So it's really like taking this concept of a DAO and apply it to a conference. And I truly believe not all conferences will be organized as a DAO, but I definitely see there is a sweet spot for certain conferences which can really benefit from that. And our goal is, next year is the first time that we will hold this conference, our idea is that that will spin off in a larger and larger movement, so that we not only have Davos as an annual meetup there, but that we also have regional conferences down there, and really like discuss and exchange best practices around DAOs and, let's say, the social layer of DAOs, and go away from the technical discussions around DAOs, because often I feel that when we talk about DAOs, it's always focused on the technology behind it, but the entire social aspect of a DAO is completely disregarded. Of course, we talk about voting and engagement and all of that, but actually, for me, DAO is a community. It's human interaction, and that's why I also like these real-life events, because there you really can build relationships. And that's what Davos is all about. We want to discuss these bigger pictures, and we also want to surface like topics which are right now maybe disregarded, and also give everybody an opportunity to speak about that. So the aim is really to have a conference which is also like representing all different areas of the world.
Yeah, thanks for sharing on like Davos. Actually, even though you are like speak of like Davos, it's just like kind of speak of IstanDAO as well, because this is also something we would like to present during this kind of like DAO gathering events. And this year actually is the first version of IstanDAO, and this brand, we believe it will start to grow in next year as well. And Misha, would you please just share some of your project? Because I know that you are actually building the project on the DAO performance check, right? And sometimes the DAO tooling will play an important role in the governance, because the governance, you have to have some data support for you to make better decisions. And how do you choose good tooling to facilitate the efficiency of governance instead of making everything more complex?
Ooh, that's a good question. That's a good question. One thing that I have to kind of build on what others have been saying is that, yes, when you think of a DAO, there's a few things that are absolutely necessary for a DAO, which one thing is just voting. There's no DAO without a voting mechanism. Another thing is because DAOs are all about co-ownership. It's the incentive mechanism and the rewards mechanism, and how do we make sure that people actually own the piece of the DAO. And regarding that, I think we have overabundance of tooling. And I don't have an easy answer to it, because I think that these are the really obvious kind of things to tackle, and everybody's tackling them, and now I have too many of them. But there's quite a lot of things that are very important for DAOs, and since I've just mentioned that I'm a member of something like 50 of them, and we kind of see patterns and what's painful and what's not. And I think like the two things that we are seeing, one is actually not really related to governance, but is just onboarding. Because the thing, like, you gather a lot of people, and now they're in your DAO, and now they maybe bought your token, or maybe they bought your NFT, but what do they do now? And how do they feel that they're not left out, and how do they feel included? So one of the things that we're seeing that's a big problem, and we're actually not solving that, so I think I can drop some names. The one that I remember is DAO Lens, which is exactly that. It's just a tool for onboarding DAOs. The other that we're somebody sent me this week was, oh my God, I've actually forgotten. There's just a few of them, and you don't really choose, because some areas we have a huge overabundance. Some areas are completely untouched. The other thing that we see as a huge problem, and that is related to governance pretty strongly, which is a super interesting topic, is reputation. So right now, most of the DAOs, they solve this by governance tokens. The more tokens you have, you spend them to vote. And it might be linear, it might be quadratic, but it's all governance token based. And most of the times you can either directly buy them, or you can secondary market buy them, but you can still buy them. So that's a financial thing. So, and that means that even if we have quadratic voting, even if we have systems that prevent people from over abusing it, it still is quite threatened by people just buying in. So we see a lot of shift from governance tokens to non-financial reputation, to things that you can just earn but you cannot buy. And that is something that as well, I think, kind of unexplored, honestly.
Yeah, that's, so we should say that to run a company is not easy, right? But maybe you will have the feeling to organize a DAO is tougher, because it's so decentralized, the decision making, and you cannot, like being a boss, say you have to do it. You have to coordinate. Oh, we can do it. So it's always a problem between the efficiency and the democracy, and how to facilitate a more transparent, democratized, and a very high efficient governance model will be some of the main key problems of running a DAO. And would you please share what kind of evolution you would like to see as a good governance model of a DAO?
Well, we are seeing it already. If you check any DAO, they started with some kind of governance, and as the community grow, or as the community see some flaws within it, they always change it. In Bankless, we have seen at least 2 changes, and then from the governance model, we moved into a constitution model. Now we have a larger constitution, like a wider constitution, and then we have the guild governance structures, which is bound with that constitution. So the evolution is happening, and it's happening fast. In this 1 year we were here, the DAO, Bankless DAO, is about 1.5 years old, and I'm in that for 1 year. And in this 1 year, we have already seen all these changes coming up. Right now, I'm not even able to say which kind of governance is the optimum one for this efficiency of democracy and the balance of efficiency. But I can see that we, all of us here together, will be coming up with solutions that this DAO cannot see and this DAO cannot find. But we will be sharing all of these solutions that we find to individual problems, and then the optimum solution will happen. It will happen sooner than we expected, but it's still a little bit of a mid to long term thing to have.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's yesterday we were having like the workshop, the IstanDAO workshop, and like one of the conclusions that we got there is that it depends. It depends on the use case. There are like some governance models that like works better, you know, in some types of DAOs, and like in others like working like other DAOs. But but I agree with you that it's sometime we're going to converge in the future, you know, on at least some types which are more accepted in governance.
Maybe when we have more categorized structures.
Absolutely, but let me share like really quick here, because like you're talking about challenges. Man, we have like thousands of challenges, you know, like it's insane. Everyone here has. But I will not go so much into the governance. I will just go to very basic problems that some DAOs face in this industry, and we face as well. Like every DAO here has a website, you know, like a domain name. I mean, if you were a DAO, like a decentralized autonomous organization, someone has to register and take care of this domain name. And like this infrastructure, you know, in the society is not prepared yet to have a multi-sig account where you can manage a domain name. And I mean, this is a basic problem, you know, it's kind of ridiculous, but we have this. Then we have to rely on a person, a member of our DAO, to execute these off-chain transactions or actions in the Web2 world. And we have to incentivize this person to act in a good faith, you know, because we don't, I mean, it's for different reasons. But I mean, I just want you to leave, because we have like so many problems, you know, in so much dimensions and so much challenges, that it's just that you guys think about this, that a better integration with the society, bit by bit, should happen, you know, in the future. I'm really excited for this, and we should all be part of it.
And I think that's also necessary, what you're saying. Like, ultimately, we can't live in this Web3 bubble, so there's also like the world outside of the Web3 bubble, and we have to build bridges there. And I think regulation is a really key point on there. But coming back to your initial question around the vision and what you want to see there in evolution, what I hope what we are doing better in the future is that we also look outside of the Web3 bubble and look at governance mechanisms which were developed over thousands of years, and look what has been proven, for example, and we don't have to reinvent the wheel. I think corporate organizations, they develop certain processes because you need them to organize something, and I think there you can learn a lot, and also from like political systems you can take a lot. Ultimately, what I think what the future of DAOs will be, there will be different governance models for different DAOs, similar to how we have different democratic systems between Switzerland and Germany, between the US and Brazil, and that's what we will see in DAOs as well. But like one point, what I really want to stress here before I give it over to you is like, right now I have the feeling everybody wants to solve everything with a DAO. And I think that's the wrong approach. Like people try to put a DAO on top of every problem. I think there are problems which can be solved better with a DAO, for example, climate change, or for example, venture capital. And I think you have to be smart in choosing the problem where you want to apply a DAO. And that's what I hope more people do.
Yeah. So what we see is, and again, our job is to talk to DAOs and learn about how they operate. So the thing we see is that there's kind of three types of a DAO. One is a vibe DAO. We gathered here because we just believe in something and we want to feel nice and want to feel the experience, the togetherness of it all. Then there's the second part, the second side, which is like, it's a DAO that's building a tool, it's building a product, it's building a thing, and they have a roadmap, and they somehow decide, based on consensus, what to do with this thing. And then there's something in the middle, which is, for example, an investment DAO, where there is an output, we are doing things together, but we don't really care what exactly is the thing that we produce. We just like care that we produce something. So for these three different types of DAOs, we need absolutely different types of governance models, absolutely different types of tooling, absolutely different types of processes. But the thing is, DAOs right now, for example, and the other thing that we need differently is we need the different types of, the different stages or centralization or decentralization of all of it. Because if you're building a tool, if you have a product that you maintain, it's impossible to do it in a completely decentralized manner. There still has to be a direction. And the thing is, DAOs right now are kind of allergic to centralization. They're allergic to structure. I think one of the things we need to solve is we need to figure out a way to blend it all, to make it still decentralized, but make it so that it still has a unified direction.
Yeah, so maybe one very quick question, and you can only say one word. In 5 years, do you think we will have more crypto holders, or we will have more people are member of DAO? It means that crypto community will be larger, or like the DAO groups will be a more common concept. Only the word DAO or like crypto.
I have to say crypto.
Only the word.
I mean, DAOs.
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 Let's wait and see in 5 years. Thank you.